It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Angola. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go! Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccerphiles Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This player is covering Angola's players. We move on to Section 3 here. And welcome to new listeners to Section 3. We're going to release this as a short version of Part 1. That's why we're welcoming new listeners. So in the full version, we talked a little bit about the teams and introduced the candidates. We talked a little bit about like Angola as a team, and we introduced the candidates and their likelihood of making the finals squad. So if you want that information and a bit of biographical information on the players, you can listen to the full version. But in this review, we're just kind of taking a motorcycle ride through the team, going over what we discussed in detail in Section 2, in Section 2. So we're not concerning ourselves with predicting starters at this point. That's something we're going to do in Part 2 when the final squads are released and we know who was selected and not selected. But let's go and talk about the manager. So in September, after not even before World Cup qualifying was finished, long-term manager Pedro Gonçalves, who'd been manager since 2019, was let go, and Paris Baumel came in and finished up the last two games of World Cup qualifying there in October of 2025. So it is Patrice Baumel who will be taking them through this tournament. For goalkeepers, we have two definite candidates, Adilson Neblu, usually called just Neblu, and Antonio Signori Dominique, those two definite. We have two possible candidates too, Hugo Marquez and Agostino Colunga, and we're not going to mention players at the possible but unlikely or seemingly off the squad level here. So those are our candidates for goalkeepers. For central defenders, two definite candidates, Kialonda Gaspar and David Carmo. And then one likely candidate, Jonathan Buatu Mananga. We also have three possible candidates, Bastos, Alexander Abel, and Ruben Adarito. To the left back position, we have no definite candidates, but we have a likely candidate in To Carneiro and also likely Pedro Bondo. We also have two possible candidates, Nurio Fortuna and Sandro Cruz. So four candidates, they'll probably bring two there. Four candidates on the right as well. Two likely candidates, Eddie Afonso and Clinton Mata, and then two possible candidates, Rui Modesto and Jordi Gaspar. I'm tempted to repeat some of the interesting stuff that came out about these players in Section 2, but we must move on. So we move on to the midfield, actually, with defensive midfielders. We, again, have no definite candidates here, but a likely candidate in Show, and a possible candidate in Kellyanno Manuel. And central midfielders, we do have definite candidates here, two of them, Freddie Kulembe and Maestro. We also have two likely candidates, Benny Mukendi, usually just called Benny, and Antonio Hossi. And then three possible candidates, Ari Papal, Meg, and Mario Balberdia. Those are the defensive and central midfielders. We have no candidates coded as left or right midfielders. And so we move upfield to the attacking part of the field, beginning with left attacking midfielders. We have a definite candidate in Felicio Milson, usually just called Milson, and a likely candidate in Gelson Dalla, who impressed in the last cup, but is just likely here. And then two possible candidates, Chico Banza and Anderson Cruz. On the right attacking midfield, we have no definite candidates, but we have a likely candidate in Zito Luvumbo and also Benson Manuel, and then a possible candidate in Gilberto. Central attacking midfielders, they don't really use the position, and the one candidate we have has been playing in different positions, but it is Randy Nteka, and he's a likely candidate there. And for forwards, we have no definite candidates either, but two likely candidates, Mabululu and Depu, and two possible candidates, Zini and Mbala and Zola. All right, that is it. And that's our review of the candidates. We can talk about any big names off the squad, but actually for Angola, there really aren't any. The only name I want to put here is the outgoing manager, Pedro Gonçalves. He qualified them for this cup and did very well in the 2023 African Cup, but they parted ways with him during this period. And let's take a look at injuries. We do have a couple of players, The first one is central defender Bastos. He's out with a knee injury since February 2025 and an unknown return date. So we'll put him in the unknown section there. And the other one is forward Zini. He's been out with a muscle injury since late September. And again, a bit of an unknown. We're not sure what's going on with that. But we do hope that we will get more information when we do part two. And speaking of part two, we're going to skip closing thoughts and go right to the preview of part two. So here's what we'll tell you when the preliminary and final squads are published, probably in early to mid-December. We're going to go over that and then tell you which of the candidates made the preliminary and the final squad, and we'll highlight any notable non-selections, any surprise inclusions, and any new players, especially the ones that make the final squad. We'll also, in part two, update injuries. And then one of my favorite parts of part two is the spotlight review, where we predict the starters. So that's it for the part one of Angola. And we hope we will see you. We'll see you in part two again in early to mid-December. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this mediacast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.